Doce infância. Baseado no conto de Roald, esse cômico e fantástico filme segue com o jovem Charles e seu avô Joey. Eles se juntam a um pequeno grupo de ganhadores de uma competição, os quais vão para um passeio na mágica e misteriosa fábrica do excêntrico Willy Wonka. Ajudado por seus anões trabalhadores, Walker esconde uma surpresa para durante o seu passeio. Data do filme: 22 de junho de 2005, lançada aqui no Brasil. Adaptação de A Fábrica de Chocolate, contando com grandes nomes no elenco. Agora a pergunta que não quer calar. 2022 teremos A Fantástica Fábrica de Chocolate? O filme ainda não tem a data de estreia agendada, mas é esperado sim para o ano de 2022. Vamos cruzar os dedinhos aí e torcer que o filme vai chegar. E claro que o original, foi lançado 24 de setembro de 1971. 2005 foi apenas o remake do filme. Aí talvez você se pergunte, qual a moral do filme, A Fábrica de Chocolate? O filme mostra crianças mimadas e sem limites, que por terem sempre tudo em suas mãos, abusam dos pais e até os desrespeitam. Crianças que perdem a inocência e que têm por um único objetivo passar por cima dos outros. Com exceção de Charles, é claro, o único com algum fio de inocência e humanidade. E fiquem agora com as gravações inéditas do filme A Fábrica de Chocolate. Bom proveito.
What was amazing for me, coming around it very early on, I'd see Joss with a bucket and these weird mixtures of like chocolate and all this stuff, and trying to get the right consistency and how long would it last and what would it move like. I come back a couple months later and the bucket has turned into these huge vats. Suddenly, there are millions of liters of this chocolate flowing.
We made a batch first, we made 50,000 gallons. Dumped it in, or slowly dumped it in here. I think we filled the place in 5 days. It's not cheap. It's £1.20 a gallon. Mind you can have it all when we're finished. There's a sequence where Augustus Gloop is eating the chocolate from the side and he falls in, and then the chocolate mixing machine comes down, starts sucking the chocolate up. We had to test the fat suits that the prosthetics had made to make sure it wasn't too buoyant, wasn't too heavy, didn't take in the chocolate and become an enormous weight around him.
Once you're in, you'll be warm. It's okay. Yeah, it's good. Look. It's fine.
When you do go in there and you get it in your ears, you can't hear anything. It's not like water going in your ears and then running out. You can't hear anything, so it's a little bit disorientating.
If you can't shoot it for real, then we've resorted to creating CG. One of the main challenges was the White Tunnel ride, for example, where the characters go down this tunnel. It's full of a chocolate river. In the chocolate room, the set, there was a real chocolate river. But this whole world of the White Tunnel Rapids ride is completely CG. So that was a huge effort to make this chocolate flow through this river.
It's called the White Tunnel Ride, and it is a ride on a boat. The chocolate river is entirely CG throughout. The environment is CG. And there are a good, I think, 15 entirely digital shots with all of the actors on the boat.
It's like a roller coaster ride, and you've got a CG boat with CG Oompa Loompas mixed with a live action boat shot on green screen.
What we have is a miniature version of the boat. Each one of these points is a potentiometer, gives an electrical reading of exactly where the cylinders are. So whatever I do with the model, the boat will copy.
The Violet Blueberry sequence was an interesting one for us. It actually came very late in the show for us. It was originally going to be achieved practically on set.
I blow up into a huge blueberry.
That looks great. That's very real.
Show your rear end. It's really fun to blow up. It's just get a blue face.
This is early experiments with Violet's midsection that blows up. Then this is her initial shape for her in her first stage. So that's sort of illustrated here on this maquette here. This is her actual scale size, and she's starting to inflate up from there.
Once the sequence was shot and Tim was cutting it, the decision was made that what had been filmed on set didn't really suit his needs. It wasn't really what he wanted. And so he turned to visual effects to come up with some ideas.
Created a whole CG body for her that we then animated her through her whole swelling process, the whole process of her changing colour, her face swelling up, and then her growing into this giant 10-foot blueberry.
Technically extremely challenging work. You know, a digital character, full screen, intercutting with live action of the same girl and then cutting directly to CG. Trying to make that seamless is a big challenge for us.
It's a sort of mixture of the real little girl's head in some shots, CG heads in others, and a CG body.
From my perspective, what's interesting about the work is the diversity of it all. It's that there are many different sequences, all with very different challenges.
It's the ultimate praise for the visual effects house when people don't know that they are visual effects, and so they'll be very happy with that.
At the end of the day, all we want is for Tim to be happy. We want to give him the shots he wants in the most trouble-free, quick, painless way possible. That's really what my job is.
CG has a lot of, it's a great uses. You always like to feel creative when you're making a movie. It helps to have that foundation, but then let your own imagination go off.